Now, if there was one word that I could use to fully describe what the Galaxy S26 Ultra truly represents, it would be practical. Practical, something connected to or involving real life application, action, and experience rather than just abstract theory, specs, or imagination. Now, I felt like practical was the perfect word for the Galaxy S26 Ultra because in my day-to-day experience, there were just so many fresh ideas and features about this phone that not only made my day easier, but actually saved me time, saved me money, and overall just gave me a peace of mind. Because as we know, being an adult in today's world comes with its challenges. The same world that gives us many beautiful, creative, and innovative things is the exact same world that tries to squeeze every last bit of productivity out of your day, from work to the gym to even deciding what you're going to eat for dinner. And that's the key component that I've noticed with the Galaxy S26 Ultra. And there were just so many refinements in this phone that quietly aided me in my everyday life. From the privacy display that allowed me to have my solitude whenever I sat in the middle seat on a plane or check my bank account and didn't want anyone around me to look, to the 60-watt fast charging that didn't just save me a ton of time since I could charge to 100% fast while I showered or washed dishes, but also complemented the 5000 milliamp hour battery that lasted me all day, the 21% larger vapor chamber cooling system that never got hot or stuttered no matter how much I've thrown at it, from gaming to editing to multitasking to even filming. And speaking of filming, now having the ability to shoot in a flat color profile finally made me be able to use this phone to give you guys videos that look aesthetically pleasing. And there were just so many features that made me pick up the S26 Ultra over any of my other phones when I needed to get something done. But, and I do mean but, practical does not mean perfect. And I do want to be very clear about that before I go any further, because I am not going to sit here, please Samsung, and pat the fanboys on the head and tell you that everything is perfect. There were some things that didn't work for me, and there were some moments where I thought to myself, maybe this phone just isn't for me. And let's keep it a buck. There were a lot of AI features that didn't work, a lot of AI features that I didn't use, and even some features that I liked but made the phone worse in some aspects compared to previous generations. So yeah, that's what it is. 3 months in, real use, no keynote, no demo unit talking points, the ups, the downs, the moments that impressed me, and the moments that made me question the whole thing. Now, remember when I said that this phone was nowhere near perfect? Yeah, I want to tell you guys about every single problem that I've had ASAP, because not only were there a good amount, but I'm also here to help you guys, because any of these could be deal breakers for you. And the last thing that I want you to do is waste your time. Now, the first problem that I did encounter with the Galaxy S26 Ultra was the screen. And I want to be careful how I say this. Like, when you put it next to anything that isn't a Galaxy, it's still one of the best panels that you can buy. But compared to previous Galaxy phones, it doesn't get as bright, it's not as sharp, and because of the new tech of the privacy display, it's definitely a step back from what Samsung themselves have done before. I like to think of it like LeBron James the moment that he joined the Lakers. We all knew that he started to slow down a little. He wasn't the same explosive athlete he was in Miami or Cleveland, but he was still, by a wide margin, the best player on the court, and that pretty much summarizes this display. It's still elite, but just not as far ahead of everybody else that it used to be. Now, my second problem is that apps would occasionally freeze on me. Now, this has happened to me at least once every 2 weeks. It's not a major deal breaker, but it's consistent enough to the point where I noticed it and I had to tell you guys. Now, my third problem is most definitely the S Pen. And this one might get some pushback, but I'm going to be honest with you. Since Samsung removed the magic wand feature, I genuinely don't have much reason to reach for it anymore. Like, outside of the occasional contract signature, which, let's be real, isn't exactly a daily occurrence for most people, everything on this phone is much smoother and more fluid when I just use my fingers. And it kind of makes me sad because the S Pen used to really feel like a tool. Now it just feels like a feature that they kept around because it's part of the Ultra identity and not because it's actually earning its place in my day-to-day. And the fourth is color camera consistency. Now this one is very tricky because when this camera nails it, it nails it. Colorful, vibrant, genuinely impressive shots, but it's just not consistent. Some photos come out flat, bland, almost tasteless. And if I personally had to put a number on it, I say it's about an 85% chance that you're walking away with an amazing photo, as long as it's not in tricky lighting. But that other 15% will creep up on you, and when you're not expecting it, that's exactly when it shows up. And my fifth and final problem was software optimization. Now let me give you guys just one example. Like on the iPhone, I can scroll through comments while watching a video on Twitter, but on my Galaxy, it doesn't allow me to do that at all. And it's little small things like that, but it's kind of the small thing that you do notice. And one more little thing that I would like to add is that a lot of the AI features like noun nudge, noun brief, just kind of ended up being fluff in my day-to-day experience. Now let's start with what you actually feel the second that you pick this thing up, the design and build quality. Now, one thing that I've always appreciated about the Galaxy Ultra series is that no matter how much time has passed, they've always managed to master that boxy look with every device, and it just never gets old. The S26 Ultra has this very boxy yet rounded frame, beautiful matte finish, feels very big and premium in the hand, and since they switched from titanium to aluminum, this phone does feel a little lighter, which provided way less strain when holding it for long periods of time. And as far as durability, what haven't I done? I've had this phone in all types of outdoor environments. I've dropped this phone a few times with and without my case, and I've even used this phone in my hands when they were wet when washing dishes. So yeah, I say build quality is something that Samsung pretty much has mastered at this point, from the feel in hand to the durability to the variety of colors, all the way down to still having a SIM tray, which was really appreciated. Now, another bright point that has continuously been added to the overall premium feel of the Ultra phones since forever has been the display. Now, I already know about the 10-bit issue, and I've already discussed issues with the privacy screen, so I don't really care to revisit it, but I do want to let you guys know what this display is like on a day-to-day basis. Now, most days, I don't really think about it, and that's kind of the point. It's bright enough outside that I've never once cuffed my hand over to see what I'm looking at. Indoors, it's still top tier, vibrant and punchy colors, big enough to give you an amazing viewing experience. Responsiveness was out of this world, and a refresh rate was just as smooth as it has been over the past 5 to 6 years. Now, one thing I will admit is that I do feel like auto brightness is pretty trash. Like, it would adjust my brightness either at the worst times, or it would be so slow to the point where I just ended up adjusting it myself. And also, if you're someone with smaller hands or even bigger hands like myself, it is incredibly hard to reach the top of the screen. But I bought this phone knowing exactly what the screen size was, so that was a trade-off that most of us know before buying this phone. But yeah, despite being a bit of a downgrade, it still does its job very well every single day, and I stopped noticing it, which for a screen is actually a compliment. Now, when it came to performance, Samsung's throwing around numbers like 19% faster GPU, 39% better AI performance, and to me, percentages don't really mean anything day to day. Nobody in this world is going to feel a 19% improvement. In real life, what you feel is whether a phone keeps up or just falls behind. And I say after 3 months of gaming, editing footage on this phone, and video calls running in the background while I'm doing something else entirely, this phone has not gotten uncomfortably warm and not once visibly throttled mid-task. I'm heavy into Call of Duty Mobile, and my S26 Ultra ran it beautifully, and I'm also the guy who refuses to buy a PS2 and does play emulators on my phone, and it was the exact same story. No hiccups, no massive overheating, and at this point, I can comfortably say that I have a portable PSP. And even with AI, I'm the type of guy that uses Gemini more frequently than I should. I keep a ton of tabs and apps running at the exact same time, and again, on an everyday scale, this phone has been practical to the highest degree. Now, when it came to battery, per usual, I'm satisfied with Samsung. A 5,000 milliamp hour battery. Would I prefer 7,000 milliamp hour since this phone costed me over $1,400? Of course, but the software has been very well optimized along with the fast charging, so I can't really complain. I'm getting 7 to 9 hours of screen time on my heavy days, 4 to 5 on the lighter, and this comes from many things, from scrolling through social media to playing games to using AI features to taking photos, and just about every simple thing that you can use this phone for. On heavy days, I end up with about 15%, and on lighter days, I'm closer to 40%, which are great numbers all around. I don't use power saving mode. I took this phone on many trips with heavy power, and time again, it has yet to fail me when it comes to battery. And another thing that you use in your day-to-day life is the camera, which was probably the most confusing thing on this phone. And I say this because there were times where I genuinely would say that the quality was better than on my iPhone 17 Pro Max. The colors were much more solid, the sharpness was out of this world, and from a technical standpoint, the camera is competing with any phone on the market. But again, there were times where I prefer other phones, like with selfies. Yeah, it's very sharp and can be great in many conditions, but when compared to, let's say, the iPhone 17 Pro Max, I feel like the iPhone had a bit of a more natural feel. And even when it came to videos, without any LUTs, the standard camera on the S26 Ultra can feel very robotic when it comes to overall feel. However though, I will say that the S26 Ultra does have the best zoom in the game by far, not only in terms of how far it can go, but also in terms of quality. And when it came to software, One UI 8.5 is a true beast. Like, there are just so many features that I had to go out of my way to use, and also features that allow me to make my phone feel more like me. Even the little things like being able to add extensions to my browser, being able to customize damn near every aspect of my phone, having the options to choose between Samsung and Google when it came to apps, and even being one of the best photo editors that I've seen on the phone was plenty of reason as to why One UI is one of my favorite software experiences to date. So yeah, 3 months later, where does this leave us? See, I told you guys at the start, if I had to sum up this phone in one word, it would be practical. And after everything that we just went throughout this video, I still land on that word. Again, practical does not mean perfect. It means a phone that does the job most of the time without asking you to work around it. And at this point, it feels like practical isn't a compliment that we hand out easily in this industry, but maybe it should be. Peace.